Good evening, guys. This is Kuro. Got a ranked game for you and my Neustrashimy. Going over the matchmaking. Enemy teams got an Alaska, Fletcher, Jutland, Kitakaze. One of the things that to really point out when you're loading into a game, try to find the ships that you can really crap on. And you saw me circling the Fletcher, and it's a ship that, outside of torpedo hits, it doesn't really stand a chance against me. Same thing with the Kitakaze. Uh, as I play more and more battles in the 5 bracket, I'm starting to really transition Neustrashimy from a frontline destroyer more to a flanking scout. And what really happens with that, you're going to start to see it this game, is I've got 12.8 kilometer gun range, and this ship can use all of it. The ships that are traveling consistent speeds, uh, you can still land those shots out there. You're relatively safe at 12 kilometers, and it's just that constant drip, 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 just. And by focusing ships that don't have repairs, the Fletcher, Kitakaze, things like that, uh, you slowly just work those ships down, and then you've got your, I win button that just keeps, replenishing your strength. And just as the game goes on, this ship gets better and better as other ships take more and more damage. Uh, you just regen better than anything in the game, percentage wise. So I don't have a lot of support here. My plan of action is that I'm basically going to button hook right back out of the cap. If somebody's here, uh, unless it's the Fletcher or something, I don't want to have a big initial engagement where I might be 2v1 or something like that and have a disadvantage. You see I'm already starting to turn back. But I see 1, 2, and with Yazuma here, and you can see it there on ACAP. I was reading the mini map that with this Azuma here, that means there's a DD in front of the Azuma. Now here you can see what I'm talking about. 10 kilometers away, just gonna start drip, drip, dripping on this Fletcher. Nope, got a gun. I'd rather have the HP damage than disabling a gun, but I'll take it. Just gonna park behind this island where nobody can really see me and just keep shooting. This isn't, burn your house down damage or anything like that, but that's 1700 HP that he's not getting back. It cost me nothing, and more importantly, the other lesson about this game is going to talk about how to play this map, the map control. It pushed that Fletcher back below this line. Now, when you play this map, draw a diagonal line. Well, it's not really diagonal, but it's basically centered on these 2 islands. I've heard them referred to as lawnmower blades because anything caught around here when a flank gets pushed just gets torn up. So and Fletcher's come back. He's ran aground. I see that he's reversing. And just going to start blind firing. I know he needs to reverse off the island, so he's going to just keep reversing in this direction. And that's going to give me the window of opportunity to just get some extra damage on him. There's an extra basically 6k off him. And you know that just because he's not going to reverse and try to come this way around. He's going to reverse out and try to go this way. So I'm ducking behind the island. I'm seeing if I can pick him up here because I want to finish crippling this guy. Now, I don't have the best shots here. Just absolutely potatoing some of these shots. Some of it's the ship. That's me just potatoing the aim, not timing his juking. Now, you'll notice my build's a little different. If you noticed, I'm running an incoming fire alert at the moment. I had referred to in the past about dropping Demo Expert and picking up Adrenaline Rush. With how DD heavy the teams were, there really wasn't, the pressing need for that extra fire chance to help burn down battleships or these super cruisers. So this is me. I'm not afraid to try things up. It's free respecs right now for a week. If go to the website, it's on the news site for the forum. Just go in there, click the participate button. You got free respecs for a week. Go in there, update your builds, fine tune things, yada yada. Uh, I normally don't run incoming fire alert. I've heard some good things about it, so basically giving it a shot. And this is one of the things that I was doing right here. I was relying on incoming fire alert to tell me when this Musashi was going to shoot, and basically just speed juke him without really even looking at what's going on. More frustrated with my aim than anything right here. But honestly, this isn't costing me much in the way of HP. It's just I'm not getting as much damage out as I really want on this DD. Now, something important happened just a minute or so ago, and that was the Alaska sitting in the cap here got burned down. And gonna pause it right here to explain the effect that has on the map and what I'm doing. So with this Alaska gone, that's a big old radar that's no longer, making this area of the map potentially unsafe to work for. When I say unsafe, anytime you're within enemy radar, any destroyer that happens to have a smoke screen, you get radar detected, or they bump into you and they smoke up and that cruiser radars you. Unless that DD is also back in one of your cruiser's radar range, you're at a disadvantage, and a very big disadvantage. So with this cruiser going down, this all starts to become much more attractive for me to work. What I'm doing here, I'm kiting out. I've got a pretty good trade on this this Fletcher. Did about 13k to him. He's chipped down to about half HP. I haven't really taken any damage at this point, but I want to lock this trade in. I don't want to give this Musashi another chance to, maybe get lucky with some RNG and hit me really good. So I'm just going to disengage, fall back, drop off. One of the other mods I'm exploring right now on Aslanes is it's called Shot Timer. It tells you how many seconds until you actually drop off. This is really handy for timing. How much time you have between this Musashi shooting, where his reload's at, that kind of thing. So if you're interested, I do have a video up on Aslanes with the mods that I run, or how to use the mod program. Go to that, check it out. It's not specifically in that video, but it is an option in there. It's called Shot Timer. You'll see it is down towards the bottom of the list, and this is what it does right here. So, like I said, just gonna briefly disengage here. The Fletcher's even trying to bait shots at me, which normally I would be down for trying to trade like this. My guns are much more efficient than the Fletcher's at these kinds of distances, but what's going to happen, I want to make a move to really start closing the door on the enemy team. I see this Kitakaze on the enemy team. He's kind of doing the same thing right now, trying to push the flank. So I want to make sure that we don't just get caught all up in here with this Kitakaze pushing the flank. You can see I'm pointing to the mini-map right now. This is what I'm looking to do. Got a Jutland here. He's pushing up. He's going to smoke up. Unfortunately, I don't think this Alaska has radar. So I'm just going to use this time. I know it's a short duration smoke, but I'm going to throw some torpedoes through here. They're actually aimed more at the Musashi. I think he's going to try to bow tank my team here, do some forward reverse juking. I'm trying to blind shoot the Jutland. Fletcher pops up. He's visible. Just going to switch to him, start going to work on him. Now, Jutland's closer, but Fletcher's the lower health target, plus he doesn't have the repair, so any damage I do to him, 100% locks in for the rest of the game. Jutland, if he disappears for a few minutes, he'll be able to repair some of the damage back and come back, a little stronger than how I left him. Now that I can't hit the Fletcher, switching to Jutland, and just gonna smoke up. I don't want to, again, lose a bunch of HP here because I am closer to his support than he is to my support. I did land 2 torps with no flooding. That makes me think DCP was active. So just slamming some HE out onto this Musashi. Jutland pops up, throw some shots at him. He's off, back to the Musashi. Angling, trying to stay torpedo safe. I know the torpedoes are going to be arriving here shortly, so starting to get moving forward. Musashi goes down. Here we go. Here's some torpedoes. There they are. And I'm expecting to bump into this Jutland just as I come out of the smoke. Now looking at my repair, I'm already 4,500 down where I can repair, so I'm going to pop it immediately. I'm not going to wait for this guy to actually start chunking me down because I can already repair 45, basically half of my repair. So here, I had the discussion earlier about ships that were, angling. All I'm doing here, I'm not hacking or anything like this. This is me shooting at my shell tracers and see where the hits are indicating and just tracking him. I actually thought he was going in the backwards in the smoke. He's actually started going forward, but you can see just how much I chunked that Jutland down with that sort of blind fire. Now that he's out, he's got nowhere to run. And just gonna finish this guy off. I am angling away just in case he did get torpedoes reloaded. Excuse me. But that's a dead Jutland. And that's kind of the impact that flipping the flank here has. When you get backup from radar and things like that, you really can start to pick apart anything that's kind of in your field of fire here. And with a ship like Mogador, with Tashkent, Udaloy, Neustrashimy, these ships that can work really well from extended range, even Kitakaze within 8-10 kilometers, you can really do a lot of damage just coming right down here through the flank once it's opened up enough. Now, the key here was the radar ship going down. So don't just expect that you can just push down here when they have radar or something like that. Now, if they had a black, it depends on, how congested it is here, because black's radar really is only 20 seconds. It's not the end of the world if, you get radared by a black with this ship, unless there's, 4 or 5 ships that can shoot right back at you at pretty close range. So, just a little lesson on playing this map. One of the other things, just to discuss it, I don't like what I see with a lot of the slower destroyers go alone to the off cap. If you are in a Mogador, Udaloy, Tashkent, something like this, you can make this work where you basically speed boost down here, get behind this island, wait for something to step on the cap, and then poke out and just, quickly try to get a quick trade on these guys, maybe dump some torpedoes, and then bail out. That can work, but when I see stuff like Yagumo, uh, occasionally Kitakaze, Jutland going down here, where Jutland's the slowest DD in the tier. Uh, you get pushed really hard through here. If they've got a couple DDs through here, uh, they see you, they just hit speed boost, they just run you down. And if there's a black or radar down here, again, you can have some really horrific trades if you're not a ship that can really get out there and hit and run. So these off caps, man, you got to play careful with them. It goes both sides. I've wrecked a couple ships today that went to the off cap alone, and it just, you're at a disadvantage. You basically are coming in here. You end up out in the open where torpedoes can come from anywhere. When these ships can duck back in around these islands and use the islands for cover, concealment, block torpedoes. If there's a radar here, they can just sit behind the island and just nuke you. Uh, so really think about what your game plan is if you're going to these off caps. Most of the losses that I see on this map, generally where it's a steamroll, it generally one ship has went to an off cap alone and just gotten rolled over. Um, so make sure you have that game plan. You're not going to be that guy for your team, and you know, go from there. Balance wise for the map, I do think South Spawn has a little easier time playing the off cap. I say that because this island is, you see how this island is turned where it blocks. Just gonna pause it real quick. See how this island is flat? It blocks a lot of the fire coming from a lot of these angles. You get battleships and cruisers that sit and park back here and shoot into the cap or shoot this way. Maybe they'll even turn around and they'll shoot this way. Um, this island is very versatile. Whereas this island, with it having a weak angle, it's pointed into A. Um, it's not as large. You don't have as much surface to work from. It's easier to get pinched out behind this island with ships pushing down here and ships in here. This island, it's really hard to get pinched out. They have to basically advance here and then basically be all the way really up behind this island to pinch you out here. This is a balance issue with this map, and it's why I think South Spawn does have an advantage on this map, just because you do have more options. You've got the easy access to A here with the islands masking your approach. Plus, you've got a solid island where cruisers and battleships can set up here and kind of negate some of this, line effect right here where the map's drawn in half. So expect to kind of see southern teams win more on this map. So when you do spawn in the north, be cognizant of the fact that you're probably playing at a disadvantage, and you're probably going to need to send 2 or more ships to sea just to make sure that you can secure that, in the chance that they send 1 or 2 ships up here to sea. So, going to go ahead and let this game wind out. And last Kitakaze goes down quickly. speaking of which, this gonna highlight a mistake that I made. Uh, as you can tell from my voice, if you're a long time listener, I've been sick as a dog for about a week, maybe a little longer. I tried soldiering through, but I had a week last week where I played like shit. I was almost to rank 3, and I just I hit about where I was playing tired, and not only tired, but I was so whacked out on meds that I violated my own rules about where I about stop losses that I talked about earlier in the season. Uh, and I ended up losing a lot more stars than I intended. And I basically have, at this point, I stopped playing. I took 2, 3 days off. That's why you guys haven't seen any videos recently. I just said, eh, everything's on hold until I can actually get my brain back and not play like a sack of well, just keep it family friendly and say, so I'm not playing like a potato. And, this is, tonight me marching back to, I called it a night at 4-1 tonight. And, this is, this is my rank season. That bad week that I had, that cost me a really good season where I was up around a 63-65% win rate with my Neustrashimy, and now I'm down to 56%. It will go back up as long as I keep playing smart, but what could have been a really stellar season, I just kind of squandered it because, again, I was not playing my best. Um, and if I was a teammate and you saw me just potato all over the place last week, my apologies. I was sick as a dog and should not have been playing. So, gonna go on ahead cut this off. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them below. And I hope you're having a good night, and I will talk to you later.